Thank you very much. For our next comedian, I wrote a poem. I'm a poet. I didn't even... so, here's the poem. There once was a vampire slayer who had pretty decent behavior. He told comedy, however how rowdy, and his name is William Taylor.
Wow, let's have another hand for Nick Quirk. That was awesome. How can I possibly follow that? Jeez. All right, well, I guess I gotta try. I don't know. I am here. All right, so it's the Christmas season, which is really cool because you get to, see your family, which is great. I was with my grandfather the other day, and he said, well, I would give an arm and a leg to be able to play football again. I said, Grandpa, how are you gonna? I can't even fathom how that's gonna happen. I think the name Aaron is an interesting name. Aaron. Because I think originally it was just 1A. And there was a kid in 2nd grade named Aaron, 1A. And they had to line up in alphabetical order. And some other kid was like, well, I'm Aaron with 2 A's. So I get to go in front of you here. The other day I saw a guy with a handlebar mustache, like a really curly, waxed handlebar mustache. But what was weird is that he didn't act like he had a handlebar mustache. He just kind of acted like a normal guy. He wasn't trying to tie some lady to a train track or anything. He wasn't nefarious enough to have the handlebar mustache. All right, so it's Christmas. I said that already. Most wonderful time of the year. We all know the Christmas story, right? Jesus. That's about it, I think. That's all I know. My mom's a Sunday school teacher. So. But no, Mary and Joseph, Mary rode on an ass to Bethlehem. On an ass. And they got to the inn, and the innkeeper goes, well, there's no room at the inn, Joe. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. And Joe's like, well, my wife's pregnant here. You can't make any room? Listen, Joe, it's Christmas Eve. A lot of people are in town. There's no room at the inn. Listen, well, can't you do anything? My wife's pregnant here. All right, well, we got this manger with some animals in it. I guess your wife could give birth there. All right, so you want my newborn son to be rolling around in manure. Well, he's just, all right, that's great. Yeah, no, I guess that's going to have to work. Be right next to the ass. Can you imagine when that innkeeper died and got to heaven? And he's at the gates of heaven. And God's just like, oh, I'm sorry, there's no more room in heaven. It's been pretty busy here lately. Heaven's got a garage. I mean, you could go there. There's a lawnmower, some mice. Want to spend eternity there? So, they say the Bible was the #1 bestseller of all time. And, so I figured the Old Testament, when that first came out, was a pretty big hit, So it's no wonder they tried to make a sequel. I can just imagine the meeting, and it's like, all right, Old Testament went great. Anyone got ideas for a sequel? All right, remember the God character we had in the last one? This one's about his son. Son of God, sounds very effective. All right, keep going. Yeah, and he can walk on water, and he can't die. Oh, this is excellent, Paul. Superheroes are huge now. You're being promoted to apostle. This is great stuff. I can just imagine the movie trailer when the sequel to the Old Testament came out, Only one man has the power to save humanity. On 12/25/0, only one film can make you say, Jesus Christ. I think it'd be neat if Jesus opened a restaurant. You can get anything you want that Jesus is right. But still, yeah, you could go to the restaurant and be like, all right, Peter, party at 12. Party of 11. You sit down, the waiter brings you bread, and you're like, tastes a little off. This tastes kind of like body. Can I see the wine list, please? Oh, yes, sir. We have a very fine year 32 AB negative. That's gross, Jesus. You're trying to feed me your blood. Come on, man. I got kicked out for trying to order a devil's food cake. Cake makers, I think that's a really weird profession, cake makers, because they make delicious pastries, but they always name their cakes such weird, dark, disturbed things. Like you have devil's food cake, and death by chocolate. And of course, cookie puss. What's more sinister sounding than that? Alright, are there any guys here in the audience? About 50-50 probably. Any guys here with girls? Sorry. Ladies, there's a lot of single guys here. Well, okay. If you have a girl and she starts, nagging on you, getting on your case, just remember, the Bible says she's allowed to do that. And Mary rode Joseph's ass all the way to the All right, thank you. That's all.